Welcome to the Apollo Audit, where reputations don't matter, facts do. Companies, celebrities, influencers, billionaires, royalty, nobody gets a free pass. If the evidence exposes contradictions, bad practices or hypocrisy, we're going to talk about it. No fan clubs, no hate mobs, just evidence, logic, and a healthy amount of skepticism. So today, let's audit BetterHelp. BetterHelp is advertised as an affordable, convenient way to speak with licensed therapists from anywhere. The company has spent years sponsoring YouTubers, podcasts, and influencers. On paper, it sounds like a great idea, but companies don't define themselves in advertisements. They define themselves in their legal documents. Back in 2018, BetterHelp found itself in hot water. Their terms of service stated that they did not guarantee the qualifications, licenses, credentials, or competence of the counselors using the platform. Think about that. The advertisements encouraged you to trust the service. The legal documents told you they weren't guaranteeing the qualifications of the people providing that service. After public backlash, BetterHelp updated its policies and now says it verifies therapists' credentials before they're allowed on the platform. That's good, but it also raises an obvious question. If everything was already fine, why was the policy changed? Fast forward to today. BetterHelp now says it verifies credentials, but another interesting piece of legal wording remains. BetterHelp has repeatedly stated that it is not a healthcare provider. Instead, it's a technology company that connects clients with independent therapists. If that sounds familiar, it's because we've seen similar legal models elsewhere. Uber says it connects riders with drivers. Airbnb says it connects guests with hosts. The platform facilitates the transaction while legally defining itself separately from the service being provided. BetterHelp applies a similar structure to mental health care. Whether that's a sensible legal model or not is up to you. But it's an important distinction because when things go well, the marketing focuses on therapy. When things go wrong, the legal documents focus on the platform. Then there's one section that genuinely made me stop reading for a second. BetterHelp's terms state, the platform is also not intended for any information regarding which drugs or medical treatment may be appropriate for you, and you should disregard any such advice if delivered through the platform. Before anyone rushes to the comments, yes, most therapists are psychiatrists and they generally can't prescribe medication anyway, but that's not the interesting part. The terms don't just mention drugs, they also mention medical treatment, which is much broader. Read that again. You're paying roughly $70 to $100 every week. Often that's around $300 to $400 every month. The entire purpose of the platform is to speak with a licensed mental health professional. Yet the terms include a warning telling users to disregard advice about drugs or medical treatment delivered through the platform. To be fair, lawyers write disclaimers like this to limit legal liability. But that's exactly where the contradiction appears. The marketing says talk to a licensed professional. The legal wording says be cautious about relying on treatment advice delivered through this platform. Those are two very different messages. Personally, if I'm paying hundreds of dollars every month for professional mental health care, I'd expect the platform's legal documents to reinforce confidence in that service, not immediately make me question advice delivered through it. At that point, I would seriously consider spending a little more on a local face-to-face therapist instead. And then there's privacy. In 2023, the US Federal Trade Commission alleged that BetterHelp shared users' sensitive health information with advertising platforms. Despite promising to keep that information private, BetterHelp denied wrongdoing. However, the company agreed to a settlement that required changes to its privacy practices and included millions of dollars in consumer relief. Whether you agree with BetterHelp or the FTC isn't the point. The point is, mental health depends on trust. A privacy investigation from one of America's top consumer protection agencies isn't something any mental health company wants attached to its name. The criticism doesn't stop with customers. Some therapists who have worked with BetterHelp have publicly criticized the platform's compensation and workload. That doesn't mean every therapist has a bad experience. But when professionals inside the system raise similar concerns, they're worth listening to. Burnt-out therapists don't benefit patients. And if your business model contributes to burnouts, that's a problem worth talking about. But is it a company with a history of controversial legal wording, privacy allegations, a business model that legally distances itself from the healthcare it facilitates? So is BetterHelp a scam? Based on the available evidence, I don't think that's the most accurate word. But is it a company with a history of controversial legal wording, privacy allegations, a business model that legally distances itself from the healthcare it facilitates, and legal disclaimers that don't always match the confidence of its advertising? Absolutely. Read the fine print. Because advertisements are designed to earn your trust. Legal documents are designed to manage the company's risks. And sometimes those two goals don't quite line up. Companies don't write terms of services because they expect you to read them. They write them because one day a judge might. That's why they're worth paying attention to. This has been the Apollo Audit, where reputations don't matter, facts do. I'll see you in the next audit. Cock.